Oh, it's live.
Hey everyone, it's Marlena Gross-Taylor here from EduGladiators, and we are starting tonight an amazing chat on student leadership. And you know what? It's not about me talking or adults talking. I am so honored and so excited to have my special friends all the way from Hawaii right now that will be sharing with us about their student leadership. So of course, as always, our live chat is open. Please pop in questions there for our student leaders, and we'll be sure to answer those as well. But tonight, it's really about them. It's really about hearing from them how leadership has impacted their lives and also their schools. So without further ado, I would love to introduce my friends from Hawaii and their teacher, Mr. Williams and Mr. Chen. And hey guys, say hello to everyone and introduce yourself.
Hey!
Hi.
Awesome. Okay, so tell everybody who you are, what grade you're in.
Okay. I'm Kira. I'm in 6th grade. I'm Marlon, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, my name is Kamaili, and I am in 3rd grade.
My name is Keely, and I'm in 6th grade.
I'm Riley, and I'm in 8th grade.
All right, and our two teachers.
Oh, hi, Mr. Williams, and I teach digital media here at Kealakehe Intermediate School.
Hi, I'm Mr. Chen. I teach 3rd grade at Kealakehe Elementary.
Awesome. So guys, the next time you head to Hawaii, first let me say this, you need to check out these two amazing schools and these incredible students who are doing awesome things in their school and really taking the lead in modeling what leadership looks like and also impacting their communities there in Hawaii. So thank you again for joining me tonight and joining the rest of Twitter world. So you ready to get started?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I have some really tough questions for you tonight, okay? And just love for you to jump in. So my first question is, what does student leadership really mean to you guys?
I think student leadership is a way for students to express themselves while still being able to have guidance so that when they get older, they're able to know what to do with what they've been given.
I love that answer.
Yeah.
I love that answer. Anyone else?
I think student leadership is not only telling people what to do, but like being involved with what they're doing as well.
Absolutely. I like that. It's really about motivating and showing, and that's how we can tell our story. That's how we can encourage, by being that example. I love that. Love that, Shara. So how do you lead in your schools? Tell me how you're leading in each of your schools.
I'm in a leadership class with my teacher, Miss Sunada, and we set up, we make games for the school, on special holidays, and, we've been doing, broadcasts. We'll make broadcasts for, the school every Thursday, telling them, all these cool things, and, Motivational Monday, and just, being good examples and stuff for the school. So we'll share that out, and, yeah.
I love that. Who else? Tell me how you're leading in your schools.
One way we're leading in our schools is, since right now we have an Earth Week project that we're doing, and what we're doing is we're challenging the classes of Kahakai to do these things every day. So we're making posters with a bunch of challenges for each day. So when you so it's fun to do little projects that can also help our community.
Awesome. I love the involvement of the community there. That's always a great thing to do. Anyone else? Great answers.
I have another one. Another thing that I've done in my leadership class is I've set up a can drive, and the whole class got together on that, and we got from our community and the whole school, we all got them to bring in cans, and then we sent them to a can drive, and our goal for cans was 700, and we actually doubled our goal.
Yeah.
And so I think it was really cool how everybody came together to give this thing, and it was all led by all the students in the class. And then another one we did was for Christmas, where we collected a bunch of like used things or like things that people didn't want but were in still good condition, and then we gave that to homeless people around the island. And this was all student run. Students did all this. We made the videos, did everything for it. So I thought that was really cool.
That is very cool. I wish I had each and every one of you here in Tennessee with me. That's so awesome. You know, we have a question from our chat. We have a live chat going on, guys. And so if you see me glance down, I have way too much technology that my 28 forever brain can keep up with, but I'm trying. People are posting questions right now. So if you see me look down, I'm reading the questions. And our first one just came in. So are y'all game to answer it?
Ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So one of our guests that are listening in, and he's a principal as well, asked, what can we do as teachers to best help students lead?
I think you can give them opportunities to lead, and then once they've been given the opportunity, I think they'll take reign with it and do what's best for the community. But it's all about giving them the first opportunity to do that. And yeah.
I like that. I like that. Have you guys had opportunities in your school to lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Williams has given me many opportunities for this. Yeah,
Whether you wanted to lead or not, he was encouraging you.
pretty much.
I love that. I love that. Anybody else have an answer? That was a great answer.
Teachers could educate students on how leading works and like what's the definition of leading.
I like that. I like that. So maybe, you know, sometimes, and I'll start with me. I've been guilty of it before too. Sometimes as teachers and even principals, we think that we know what's best all the time for you guys. And I think sometimes we limit those abilities for you guys to really stretch out your wings and grapple around a problem. How have you used your passions or something that you just feel so strongly about to lead in your schools? How have you used your passions to create opportunities to lead? Maybe you're telling your teacher, hey, this is really important to me. Is there something we can do to help, or something that I could try to do to help?
So one way we can use our passions is like my passion for like writing, like helping people and making like comic books and like hoping to make a book one day. That has inspired me because Mr. Chen, we always have this Wednesday assembly called Wow Wednesday, and sometimes our student leadership, we would make plays about like these sort of topics like bullying and other things, and then we would use like those plays as a fun way to teach kids instead of like just saying, oh, you should do this to help our environment.
I like that. That's a great answer. Anyone else?
Well, one way I use my passion was I've always been really passionate about the environment, and when I get older, I hope to be an environmental lawyer. And I've told Mr. Williams this and looked up this grant, and so we applied for that to make an environmental vending machine. And so that all goes back to opportunity. I told Mr. Williams what I wanted. He found an opportunity for me, and I put my passion into my work and am working on this project.
I love that. I think anytime we can surround or include our passions in whatever we do, it's going to make for a better experience. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we have another question.
Ooh.
Yes, y'all are on fire tonight. Okay. What motivates each and every one of you to be outstanding leaders? What's your drive?
I think my drive is knowing what it will do to my future, how it's going to benefit me as I get older and go out into the community. I think knowing what a leader is and how a leader works, it's going to better my chances as an adult of being successful.
I love that. I love that. Hey, EduGladiators, I hope you are taking notes and jotting down furiously, because these are amazing answers from our guests tonight, from our student leaders tonight. Anyone else, what motivates you to be outstanding leaders? It's not for a grade, so why do you do it?
So a reason why I like to be a leader is because I know that there's like bad things in the world, and so I want to be a leader so I can improve those things and find different ways to instead of using pesticide to help kill bugs, we can, as a leader, I can use my passions to help find a way to use a natural source instead of a chemical source.
Wow. Wow, that was amazing. So be the change, be part of the change that you want to see if you see something is not how it should be. Yeah?
Yeah.
I love that. Anyone else? Kamali, I haven't heard from you yet. You want a fresh question? Because I have one. You want a fresh one?
Sure.
Okay, so one of our folks listening in asked, how do you inspire your other classmates to join you as student leaders?
One way I hope my teammates join me as a student leader is by telling them how you can become one and how it will help the community.
I love that idea. I love that. Just sharing your story, right? And what joy you have out of leading. I love that. Kiwi, what about you?
To inspire your friends, you could educate them on leading and tell them the good consequences of leading and the bad ones. So and you could tell them what it could do for what they're passionate about too.
I love that. You know what I like what you said, Kiwi, is that it's hard to be a leader sometimes, right? Do you find that sometimes it's difficult to be a leader?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes maybe your friends may not accept the same, or may not be driven by the same way that you are to lead. And sometimes that can be really tough. So that's why I think it's really important to, look at your passions, let that drive you, and also share the story about leadership. Here's a question that I would love to have answered is, why is it so important to develop leadership? And Mr. Williams and Mr. Chen, I would love to hear you guys on this one. Why is it so important to develop student leadership? Because sometimes it is hard. This is a fantastic group of kids right here. And I know sometimes they're doing things that their friends may not be into doing all the time. So why is it important to develop that in students?
I think it's important to think about diverse modes of leadership. That not all leaders are going to be the person in the front of the classroom giving a speech. Sometimes it's the silent leader who does, their focus is, maybe on data. Their focus is maybe on doing the backbone work and behind the scenes work. And I think the importance of developing different modes of leaders is opening kids' eyes that, oh, even though I'm not that loud person in the classroom, I'm still a leader because I'm doing what I'm passionate for. And maybe Kamali can talk to one of the chants we do in our classes. Why don't you tell them what's one of the chants we do in our class?
One of the chants we do in our chants is a good job cheer. It's where we say good job through chant to a person or a teammate.
And then explain to them, we also have another one, Ao, Aku, Ao, Mai. What does that mean?
Ao, Aku, Ao, Mai means I lead you and you lead me.
Wow. So everybody is responsible for this whole leadership piece. It's not just one person at the top, right? Y'all are doing great. Y'all are doing great. Hey, we have a new question. You ready? Yeah. Okay. So one of the folks listening in, Andrea, is asking, what are some of the challenges you meet as student leaders in your building? What are some of the challenges you meet as student leaders?
Some of the challenges is like when people who don't really understand why you're doing it, and they're always like trying to discourage you, and they're always sometimes like when I do things in my classroom that I like to do and I'm passionate for, other kids will be like, "Oh, why are you doing this? You should do this." So like those are some challenges that I face when like I do student leadership, because people don't really like, some people are passionate for it, and some people it's like hard for them to really understand why we do it.
Yeah, I agree with him. Like sometimes, like even when it's your close friends and you're doing something, you're being a leader and they bring you down for it. That's like, it kind of hurts your feelings and you don't know why you do it, but then you remember like everything that you've been through and you continue to do it. So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. Chira, did you have an answer for that too? You look like you're about to say something.
Yeah, I agree with them. It's like sometimes your peers don't agree with you, like sometimes your friends, because they might not agree with what you're saying, or they might not give you the same respect as they do your teachers.
Yeah.
I think I haven't come through this problem, but I know like keeping your leadership reputation, I guess, is like difficult, especially if you have peer pressure.
It can be. It can be. You know what I find that's really helpful to me, guys, is, and Mr. Williams is part of my group, and now Mr. Chin is part of my group. Sometimes it helps to have a group of people around you that are just as crazy about things as you are. Support group, so you can feed off and be revitalized and get energy from your friends that do understand what you're doing. So when you have those challenges, it's always better if you can face those with a group that is your kind of crazy. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, we have another question. Wow. Okay. Ms. Blabber is asking, what is your favorite part of being a leader?
My favorite part of being a leader is being able to see the change that you've made within your community or within your school or whatever you're doing, and being able to look back on it and saying, hey, we did that, guys. We accomplished this.
Wow, I love that. Who else? What's your favorite part of being a leader?
Drew, what's your favorite part?
I agree with Riley. It's kind of like looking back and seeing what you've done. And yeah.
I love that. Anyone else? What's your favorite part?
My favorite part about being a leader is that I get to help other people like see how little youngest person can make the biggest change.
I love that. Hey, Mr. Williams, Mr. Chin, what's your favorite part about teaching these young folks right here in front of us about being a leader?
Ooh. I think the most fun part for me is realizing that it's okay that I don't have all the answers, and they do, and they are the most creative minds out there. And when we talk about giving them opportunities, like Riley talked about, when we give them opportunities, they will exceed expectations every time. And it's just our ability as leaders to trust. And I think that's been a really cool learning lesson for me. And the most fun part is just letting them run with it, learning from their failures, celebrating their successes, and also just seeing them realize, whoa, I did this, and them not realizing it until they've actually done it. So that's the funnest part about it.
I love that. Mr. Jen, what's your favorite part about working with this group of great leaders right here?
I think it's, hashtag trust the process, You have to trust that the process you go through is going to be a learning experience for you. For me, it's having them realize everything they do is a success. The fact that they're in the class talking about leadership, they come in at 7 in the morning, and all the rest of the kids are, not there, or they come after school and do extra work. It's seeing them realize that extra effort they put in, that extra mindset that they have, gives them an extra edge, and really helps them see the projects through. That's my favorite part.
I love that. I love that. I saw a post on Facebook. I know you guys probably aren't even on Facebook because that's for people 28 and older, right? But one of my friends posted a list of questions to ask if you're a parent, to ask your kids and hear what they have to say. And so one of the questions was, what are you known for? Ask your kids, like, what do they know you for? Or what are you passionate about? So I asked my sons, and I have teenagers, bless my heart. I have 3 boys, one's out of school or in college, and 2 in high school, almost finished. And so I asked them, like, what does mom stand for? And they said, you help people. You don't like to see things that are people being treated unjustly, and you help. And I think that being a leader is also knowing, like, what do you want to be remembered for? Because if you're a great leader, people will remember what you've done, or you'll see people continuing on some actions that you started. And I think that's a pretty cool thing, right? Yeah. So I had some great inspirations as leaders. My parents were great inspirations, but my grandparents were super, super great inspirations for me to be leaders. What has been your inspiration, guys and girls, to aspire to be leaders? Who inspired you?
Well, I wasn't really inspired by anyone in particular. I guess I saw all these things that other people were doing and how they were affecting the community. But what inspired me was to see the change that I wanted to make. It wasn't one specific person. It was kind of everything all at once.
I love that. Anybody else? What inspired you to be a leader?
Mr. Chen. I was walking down school, and then I saw all this stuff happening, and then Mr. Chen came over to me and said, "Hey, do you want to come to leadership?" And then I said yes, and then that's how I came here today.
Wow, and look at you now. You're like YouTube famous, right? Everybody's watching you, and all these adults are asking these awesome questions on how you do what you do. Aren't you glad you walked into Mr. Williams' room? Aren't you glad? And Mr. Chen's room? Aren't you glad?
Actually.
Yeah. Hey, I have another question. Okay. Man, these questions are coming like wildfire right now. Okay, so Brant from Wyoming asked, what advice do you have for him if he wants to form a student leadership group in his school next year in the fall? What advice do you have?
The advice I would give to him is that you have to have a reason. You have to be able to know why you are going to do this, and if you're going to do it, you have to be able to get to give your students opportunities to do change, because if you don't really know how to get these websites and all these places you can go to have opportunities, your leadership class might not really have as much opportunities to lead and become a leader than if you would have all the opportunities that we've gotten from making websites to other things.
Wow, so that's awesome.
Ready and prepared? Yeah.
And
so you
know what you want to accomplish, so that they can and then have a goal beforehand, so then you can be okay guys, I want you to do this, this, and this, and then see how they grow within that process of the tasks you've given them.
I love that. Yeah, yes, it makes sense. Brant, I hope you're listening. And if you're watching the replay of this podcast, I'm telling you now, grab some paper, grab some pens, and you need to jot down all these amazing ideas. Here's another question. What projects have you taken on in your building or in your community? What leadership projects have you taken on?
Well, I've taken on, like I said before, the grant, how we got a grant for this, and then we're kind of turning it into a whole community thing where I'm going to display it at all like different places, and we're like, it's becoming something bigger than what we expected and everything. And then like the can drive and when we got things for the homeless children and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Who else? What projects have you taken on in your school or in your community to show your leadership?
I have a leadership group called Hokupa'a, which means the North Star or to lead. It's led by Mr. Williams. And Mr. Williams and 2 teachers from this school picked 6 students, I think.
Okay.
In Hokupa'a, but some of Mr. Chan's students is in Hokupa'a too.
I love that.
Yeah.
And the whole Hokupa'a group is trying to solve one problem, and it's student engagement.
That is a huge problem. Let me tell you, when you get that solved, you guys are going to be millionaires, okay? Millionaires. All right. Who else? Who else would like to share how you're being a leader in your school or in your community?
I think, Kira, do you want to talk about broadcast, Hawk TV, and what we do for that?
Sure. So for Hawk TV, we create broadcasts which go on, that are presented in our school, like after lunch or during advisory. And those are pretty much just like what today's lunch is and stuff, but it's like leadership because we're like leading the school. Like we're in front of like 700 students and leading them.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So, well, guys, how do you juggle all of these cool things you're doing at your school or in your community with just being you, just being a kid and enjoying your life right now? How do you juggle and balance all of that? Oh, and schoolwork. How do you balance all that?
Well, I think the way for me, like the way I like juggle all the things that I have to do in my like my day is that I would like take things up. Like first I would do all my leadership work, and then I can do like my next part instead of like sort of finishing this one and then doing my homework and then going to this particular place and then going back to leadership. So you can tackle it one and then you can get that finished and then the next and then the next. So it's even like more efficient instead of like combining everything at once.
I like that. So you take it like a task at a time, right? And just kind of check it off and get it done. That's awesome.
Oh, how I juggle it is I have the 5 days of the week. That's where I do everything that I have to do, and then the weekends is kind of where I can like relax and like have fun and stuff. And yeah.
I like that. You have to have time to hang with your friends, right?
Yeah.
That's very important.
How I juggle it, it's I always like, I guess like, I always listen to one quote, which is live life to the fullest. So like, kind of like doing as most as I can possible, which is like learning and still being a kid.
I love that. And I'm typing right now because you guys are just blowing me away. Like, I really just need y'all to come for a visit to Nashville and just share all of this goodness that you're sharing right now with kids here as well, to continue to encourage and inspire your peers that are even in another state, you know? So, Mr. Williams, Mr. Chen, how do you share out these amazing things that the kids are doing?
So I'm really big about public exhibitions. You know, we recently watched the film Most Likely to Succeed, where High Tech High was really focused. And at our school, we try to do as many exhibitions as possible. So we've done one, and maybe Kamali can talk about the Kane's Arcade project. What was that?
For Kane's Arcade, it's where 3rd grade made a project for 2nd and 1st grade, and they're like prizes. The project I did a group with 2 other teammates named Nancy and Lily, and we made a bowling theme. It's where we made pins, and we had these balls, and if you knocked you had 2 chances, and if you knocked all of them down, then you would get tickets from this little thing we made, and then there would be a prize placed right next to the bowling thing. Then it was like sort of spongy material that you could trade in for the tickets.
Did you really like showing it off to the other kids?
I really like showing it to the other kids because that maybe inspired them that if they want to like make something cool when they're in 3rd grade for Kane's Arcade, they can do it long as they set their mind to it.
I love that.
Exhibitions really allow the kids to show their work and take pride in their work. And so I think having like schools create these public exhibitions really helped them be more motivated about their project.
I love that. I love that. And Mr. Williams and Mr. Chen, any advice? We have a question. Any advice that you have for teachers that are just starting to involve more students or more student leaders in their school? Any advice you have for them?
Yeah, you know, I think that's a good question. I think Marlo talked about it. I think grounding yourself in your why, because it's kind of organized chaos having so many students and they have what it takes to succeed, but being willing to trust that, and so really coming back and understanding why you want to do that is number one. And then I think the other important thing, and maybe Keely can talk about this or Kira, is equipping them with the right tools as leaders to think leadership is a mindset and it's a way of process. And so I know Keely and Kira, they've gone through, and Riley, design thinking. Keely, you want to talk a little bit about design thinking and what that focuses real quickly?
Oh, design thinking is a process or type of thinking that that we use to solve problems, like any problems.
First stage?
Huh?
What's stage number 1, 2, 3?
Okay, so there's this whole like, design thinking is a process where there's steps, and the first step is empathize.
Second stage? Define.
Oh, sorry. Second step or stage is define. The third one is ideate. The fourth one is prototype. And the fifth one is test.
Having them use this type of way of thinking gives them the structure to be successful. And it's been cool to kind of watch them, and both Kira and Keely have gone through that, and Keely's done some teaching of it and teaching his peers, which has been helpful. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so for those of you that are just joining in, or even if you're watching the replay right now, these amazing students here, these student leaders, they've stayed after school so they can participate and share their stories, share all the amazing things that they're doing. So I don't want to hold them too long because they do have to get up in the morning as well. But I have to ask my favorite question for everybody that's on EduGladiators. Who is your favorite superhero, guys? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I like really thought about this. My favorite superhero is Batman because I think most people say like any superpowers he just has gadgets. He's a big guy with gadgets. Not jackets. Gadgets. I think like he teaches people a lesson because you don't have to have a superpower to be a superhero.
Okay, guys, that was a mic drop right there. Mic drop right there. Awesome.
Mostly because you beat Superman.
Oh no. Okay, who's next? Who's your favorite superhero and why?
My favorite superhero is Professor X from X-Men because he's like really smart and he knows what everybody's doing at that time, and I think that's really cool.
I think that's really cool too, Jara. I love that. Who else?
My favorite superhero is Thor. I mean, his hammer, he can just take out everyone. I just like Thor a lot. Just.
We're not judging. We're not judging. That's awesome, Mr. Williams. Who's next?
My favorite superhero is the Hulk, and there's like no set reason behind this. Ever since I was little, my dad's just like, he likes the Hulk. I don't know why. Like, we have this Hulk blanket at home, so it's kind of like in my blood, I guess, just be fond of the Hulk. So I don't really know why.
All right, y'all watch out if Riley turns green on y'all tomorrow, okay? Give her plenty of room. All right, who else? I think I'm missing 2 more people.
My favorite superhero is Captain America. I love like being a part of the team. I love, team building. So when he says like Avengers Assemble, that's what I'm all about. I'm about bringing the team together.
I love that. Who else? No one else has a favorite superhero?
Is Optimus Prime a superhero?
He is to me. I love Optimus Prime. Go Transformers.
Well, in my opinion, I think that Bumblebee is like my favorite one because that he can like change into a supercar, and I love like supercars, and that's why I chose him because he's yellow and my favorite color is yellow. So
I love that. I love that. Hey, Marlon, I have a Camaro because of that movie, because of Transformers, and I am hoping every day that puppy changes into Bumblebee. Okay, just know when that happens, it's going to be all over social media and everything. So I am waiting and talking to my car daily so it can turn into that. Anyone else with their favorite superheroes?
My favorite superhero is also Captain America, because he can help. He might help encourage other superheroes if they might feel down or feel like they can't do it.
I love that. I love that. Okay, can I share who my favorite superheroes are? Yeah. Okay. So my favorite superheroes right now in this moment is each and every one of you.
oh,
Yes, yes. Go ahead and do your dap, all that. You guys are awesome. You have inspired me. You have inspired so many folks that are watching and that are commenting and that are still commenting right now. I'm pretty sure we're probably trending right now thanks to you guys. But you're my heroes because you know what? If all of us do what we can do and change what we see is wrong and we play our own part, the world is going to be a better place. And I'm so encouraged knowing that each and every one of you here that are talking to me tonight, you guys are making a difference. You're making a change. And to me, that's the best kind of superpower to have. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, guess what? I don't want to hold you. I know you have to go home. You probably have homework and some more leadership organization to do. But I want to just thank you from the bottom of my heart for staying after school, for sharing with us about student leadership. Mr. Williams, Mr. Chen, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Up with Wayne.
Thank you. I will. I'm gonna keep a lookout for the rock. This has been so much fun. For those of you that are watching this live, we are wrapping up our podcast on student leadership. Please share the replay. Share these nuggets of just awesomeness right here that these kids have shared with us. And I think we can learn a lot from the adults here. We're going to continue with EduGladiators chat on Saturday with talking about courage to try. Because one thing that each and every one of these kids are doing right now is they're making the choice to try. And whether it's through the design thinking process, having amazing teachers that they have, they're not afraid to step out there and be part of the change that they're wanting to see. So I would like to invite each and every one of you to join us on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for our EduGladiators chat, where we talk about the courage to try. And then to round out our month of April, we are so glad to have Mr. Williams back, and he's going to lead the Twitter chat on the last Saturday of the month on, you guessed it, student leadership. Hey, Mr. Williams, Mr. Chen, if these teachers that are watching, if they want to have a few more questions answered, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
They can direct message me on Twitter, I guess.
Same here. Yeah.
I'm
Awesome.
pretty active. Yeah, you can just DM me on it.
Just DM me, right?
Drop it on the
I love it. So you heard it. Teachers, principals, EduGladiators, if you want more information, have some more questions, you can actually go to the EduGladiators handle and you see where we've tagged both Mr. Williams and Mr. Chen in our promos for tonight's podcast. Reach out to them and also join us on Saturday for Courage to Try, and then the following Saturday with Mr. Williams leading us in student leadership. You guys are the best. You have some EduGladiator swag coming your way, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right, have a great one.